This is not a sponsored video. Did you ever feel like the music that you like, well, you don't really like? Are you tired of opening Spotify, sitting through 5 minutes of ads just so you can listen to the latest bland track by whatever artist learned how to trick the algorithm to get on the most Spotify playlists? How did this happen? How can we escape it? It's my opinion that music should be the soundtrack to our lives and a beautiful source of inspiration, not some faceless, endless, bland background activity bookended by ads and dictated by machines. Machines who, by the way, don't even have the ability to actually listen to music. Once upon a time, humans would buy records, 8-track tapes, cassettes, CDs, and later even MP3s. We each had our own collection. Even in the early days of digital music, MP3 ownership was actually a thing. Our music collection was a reflection of our individuality. It was something we could share with people to connect with them on. They were smaller collections. Sure, some people's music collections were in the thousands or even hundreds of thousands, but we didn't own millions of CDs or billions of MP3s because that would be insane. First of all, you wouldn't be able to listen to it all. Secondly, the cost would just be astronomical, and you wouldn't even enjoy like 99% of it. There's absolutely no need for this much music for anybody. The truth is that we as consumers were left with little choice. After the invention of smartphones and then Spotify, big tech companies started phasing out the ability to download music. On an iPhone these days, it's nearly impossible to transfer files to listen to, even if you wanted to. Admittedly, this is far easier to do on an Android device, but this is not an iPhone versus Android video. And most people in the USA use iPhones these days. Like it or not, this is the truth. So what can we do? Well, one option is to return to the physical world. These days, turntables and vinyl are readily available at many retail outlets. But the problem with this is, the vinyl selection in these chain outlets such as Best Buy, Target, and others is very generic. You'd be hard-pressed to find anything in these stores besides complete mainstream selections. Also, vinyl is expensive. One record costs upwards of $25 to $30. There are still independent record sellers scattered about who offer a wider selection and better prices, but in some cities there aren't any at all, and honestly, much of the best new music is not being pressed to any physical format. Enter Bandcamp. I'm sure many of you watching this already know about Bandcamp. It's not new and it's been around since 2007. Whether you know of them or not, Bandcamp is a unique platform. It is somewhat old school in its business model and offers music from the artist in a more direct way. Artists can upload music to Bandcamp, create their own label page, and decide how much they want to charge people to download their music. You can also stream the music from Bandcamp's app or website, but you absolutely should download it and save it to your computer. I'll talk more about that in a bit. In addition, Bandcamp also offers a marketplace for physical releases. In comparison to all of the other online platforms that exist for music, none of them pay the artist as well as Bandcamp does. It's not even close. For example, take a look at these charts that compare my Bandcamp earnings to my streaming earnings. These numbers are based on the entire time I've had my Bandcamp page and since my music has been streaming. My Bandcamp page was created only about a month before I put my music on all the streaming services. Since 2011, I've had 43,815 plays, 286 sales, totaling $2,135.07 income on Bandcamp. Now, if we look at the streaming services, since 2011, on all the streaming services combined, I've had 59,351,188 streams, for a total of $285.88. Clearly, Bandcamp is the far superior service for artists. Bandcamp is also better for the consumer, as I am about to show you how to use Bandcamp to build a completely unique music library filled with independent artists that reflects your own musical taste and individuality. You will own the music you buy. You can download it to your computer. You can play it without an internet connection. You can make your own mixtapes/playlists and share them with your friends, and you will have directly supported the artists you listen to in the process. So how to get started building your music library with Bandcamp? Well, the first thing you need to do is go to bandcamp.com/fans and create a fan account if you don't already have one. So once you have your fan account set up, you can go ahead and head over to bandcamp.com, make sure that you're logged in, and you'll be greeted with this Bandcamp weekly front page, as well as some suggested albums and upcoming live streams and new and notable, things like that. But personally, I ignore all of this stuff. What I like to do is if you scroll down here to the bottom, you will see something called Discover. And actually, we can get a bigger version of this if we just go bandcamp.com/discover. And this takes us to basically a web app where we can filter what we want to look for. And the reason why I like to do it this way is this feels more like, I don't know, crate digging to me. It's not so much just taking suggestions and buying whatever's popular. In fact, I definitely want to turn that off. You can see here best selling is the order. What I want to do is new arrivals. Sometimes what I like to do here is just put in a location. Let's see what's going on in Montana. And then down here we have different genres that we can search through. And let's click on experimental here. Okay, so now we can just start previewing some things. All right, so another thing, instead of location, we can actually type in a genre. So let's just say progressive rock.
A slave to your head and to your natural default setting of being uniquely
This is sounding interesting. Now, one thing I think that you should look out for is something like this, where there's the full digital discography. And a lot of times what people will do is they'll heavily discount. As you can see here, I have my entire digital discography for 90% off. It's $22.20. And there are a lot of releases in here. There's, over 50 albums that you could get for $22. So if you want a great place to start off and you just want to fill up your library with a lot of music right away, you could do this. And, you could use mine as a place to start from. That would be cool. Now, it can take a while. You can be digging through these things for a very long time. But that's the fun of it. That's what is being lost today. Dig. What else are you going to do? You're going to sit there and scroll on Instagram and look at posts and algorithm-driven content, or are you going to dig in and find some stuff that you really think is interesting that nobody else is really listening to? So I'm almost up to $30 here, but I've got quite a bit of things, and I'm just going to go to my checkout. Then here, it will take you to a PayPal screen. It does this one by one. Once you finish checking out through all of the albums, then you'll be redirected to your library page where you can download all of the music. Now, speaking of the library page, this is another thing that I wanted to show you guys. If we go here to my Bandcamp library, mine is just bandcamp.com/jwerbonskyfan, and I'll link that down below. You can get kind of suggestions, based on other people's purchases, and you can see maybe if you like some of these. So why should you download music rather than just stream it from Bandcamp's webpage or from the app on your phone? The number one reason is you will have access to this music no matter what happens. Now, right here, I am on Bandcamp's wiki. And as you can see, if you read this wiki, there have been several ownership changes for Bandcamp in the past few years, and its future is kind of uncertain, unfortunately. I really hope that it sticks around and they're able to make it through all these ownership changes and layoffs and stuff that they've been through, because this is really the only thing like this that musicians have. And as fans, really supporting art directly to the artist rather than going through these gigantic tech companies like Spotify and Apple Music, who just basically rip off musicians. Download your music. Another great reason to download is you don't have to listen on a computer. You could put these things on USB drives or MP3 players. I know that sounds pretty old school, but they're fun. Another thing that you can do with these MP3s or FLACs or whatever you're downloading from Bandcamp, you can make mixes and playlists and put them on a USB stick and give them to your friends. Everything's personally thought about. It's not some algorithmic creation that basically has no care behind it. So I really find this to be a much more personalized thing, not only for you, but for the people you're sharing with. I highly recommend using Bandcamp, downloading your music, selecting your music personally, sharing it between your friends. Let's get this going again, guys. We need to really start stepping up if we want the world to be a place where we, creative people and people that appreciate other creative people, enjoy where we are. Because right now, to be honest, the way that the music business is going, a lot of us are not finding the status quo enjoyable. So let's take it into our own hands. Let's make it better. Let's ignore all these giant companies telling us to listen to bullshit. And yeah, anyway, I guess that's what this video is about. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said before, if you want to kickstart your music library with my Bandcamp, I have it at 90% off if you purchase the entire discography. That's at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see y'all really soon. Have a great day.